into your month of May, where that is concerned, your 5th month of your year of 2023, where that is concerned, and opening up to a grandness and a greatness of self that you have never known before. In many ways, opening up into the depth and breadth of your heart to a freedom that you have never known before, a freedom inside your heart space, and free inside your beingness, and freeing inside in your mental, emotional, and physical beingness where that is concerned. And it's a new freedom where that is concerned. It's a freedom of letting go of the past in many ways. Letting go of what has transpired in your life where that is concerned, and now living in the moment of now where that is concerned, and opening up to the depth and breadth of your heart space, and living in these moments where that is concerned. In many ways, being in the moment of now where that is concerned. So as you move into your month of May, another month of fruition, another month of continuing the fruition of the beingness of self where that is concerned, as is your theme throughout your year of 2023 where that is concerned, moving deeper into the beingness of yourself, knowing, honoring, and valuing a deepness of self where that is concerned. You're now moving into a month where you can look at yourself as being free where that is concerned, free of all the constraints of the past where that is concerned. And even though your wounding and all of the trauma and all of that stuff, as you would call it, is in your life where that is concerned, it is coming up in irregularities where that is concerned. It is coming up at times, but you're now grateful for the tools that you have where that is concerned. And it's most important to look at what has transpired in your life throughout your month of May and look at it in the soul perspective that we are reiterating once again to you where that is concerned. The soul perspective of life, where everything that has transpired in your life is sacred. Everything that has transpired in your life and is transpiring in your life right now is sacred. Sacred in the soul perspective. Bringing the encompassing soul perspective, bringing the encompassing soul experience into the heart space, and knowing that everything that has transpired in your life is sacred where that is concerned, and has led you to this point in time where you're now moving into the freedom of self where that is concerned, the freedom of being of self where that is concerned, and moving into this place where you now can move about your earthly plane where that is concerned, containing your own energy but being who you are as the adult where that is concerned, and moving into those places where you can continue to nurture yourself through these periods. But it is most important to understand, dear ones, that what has transpired in your life up to this very moment in time has been sacred. Sacred in your soul's divine plan where that is concerned. In many ways, dear one, there is nothing to shame or blame or judge about what has transpired in your past where that is concerned. Because in the soul perspective, it is going all according to plan where that is concerned, in your vernacular where that is concerned, in the soul plan where that is concerned. So you can look at what is transpiring in your life as sacred, as learning periods, as growth periods. It brings together the fullness of the being of you. We'll repeat that, dear ones. Through your judgment and through your shame, perhaps, of what has transpired in your life up until this moment in time, we ask you, as you move through your month of May, to look at what has transpired in your life and see that all has been sacred. Sacred, the ingredients that is added up to the beingness of you, of who you are right now where that is concerned. All is sacred, dear ones. All happenstance is sacred, dear ones. What is transpiring in your life right now, dear ones, is sacred, though you may not think it is as you move through it. But as you move through it, utilizing your tools, honoring and valuing and loving and deepening that with you and others where that is concerned, you will realize as you move through these episodes of time, as we have said to you in the past where that is concerned, and you move to the end of that episode, and you look back at that episode and see what has transpired, what you have learned, where you have grown, the tools you have garnered, and you move to the end of that episode and look back, you're a different person. You're a different person in mind, body, and spirit. If in fact you opened your heart space for the growth, for the learning, and with the tools. And then you look back and you have shifted in that soul plan. What transpired in your life is according to your soul plan. And when you move to the end of that episode, you look back and ask yourself, what have I learned? Where have I grown? Who am I now? So what we ask you to do through your month of May, dear ones, is to ask yourself, who am I now? Who am I now being? What have I learned? Where have I grown? What tools am I using to now move through these periods of time in my life? Dear ones, it is most important to understand, and we reiterate once again, everything that transpires in your life is sacred. Sacred in the soul perspective that allows it to move from the mental body into the heart space, into the full being of the self. Many are now, as you move into your month of May, are moving into this place of moving the conceptual mind, what is in the conceptual mind, into the heart space and feeling that energy shift and land in your heart space. And then what transpires is the concepts evaporate, and then you are being it. You are being the concept. That is transpiring for many and will continue to transpire for many in your month of May where that is concerned. So the question we have for each and every one of you, where are you still living in your conceptual mind? You understand the concepts what we are bringing you and what many others are bringing you. But has that energy moved and landed in your heart space and then expanded throughout your physical being where you are being it? You have a greater and deeper awareness of your behaviors, your old habits, patterns, and rituals. There is a greater deepening and understanding within the physical being of your old habits, patterns, rituals, and behaviors. And therefore, when the trauma and the wounding surfaces, you are now in a place to utilize your tools and move through that, knowing that it is just your wound. And what you are doing now, as we mentioned to you in your month of April, you are no longer blaming and shaming the source of the wound. The source of the wound is mom and dad. I am blaming and shaming mom and dad for my wound. Your wound is sacred, dear ones. Your wound is sacred, dear ones. For it is not without that wound you have developed into the beingness of who you are now. What has transpired in your life up until now, dear ones, has all been sacred. Sacred in the divine plan of your soul. From the soul perspective, everything is sacred, dear ones. In the human form, you may not think so in your mental body. But if you can move about throughout your month of May, knowing from where you have come and what has transpired in your life through your wounding, that has led you to a greater understanding, a greater love, a greater acceptance of self. It is because of the sacredness of that wound, of those various wounds that you have healed up until now. Life is sacred, dear ones. Your journey is sacred, dear ones. What has transpired in your life is sacred, dear ones. Open your heart space to that reality so you can now move into the depth and breadth of your heart space and move through your month of May and through the continuation of your year of 2023 and your life in the full beingness and acceptance and love of who you are.